Is it clout chasing or is it giving us some very juicy throwback tea? We have some old news, we have some new news all around today. Let's get into it.
Listen up, it's jazz.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Hot Chai Pod, a podcast where we serve all of that sizzling Bollywood tea. I'm your host, Jazz, and today we got a little mix, as I may have mentioned at the beginning of the episode, as you guys may have seen me talk about on Instagram. If you're not following, please do, at Hot Chai Pod on Instagram and TikTok, actually. So we have Deepika Padukone back in the news, and not for this Vanga news, which has continued, actually, and a small update there. I saw some other people speaking out on her behalf. I saw some people kind of coming in and speaking out against her. I can't keep track. There were a bunch of comments last week blaming Deepika for leaking the script, which is the same thing Vanga had said about her, and now we're talking about it again. But just as a side note, all that the article had said on Pink Villa when all this kind of drama was happening was that this movie with Prabhas is a cop action thriller. That's really not that groundbreaking of a leak. It's not like the most shocking story. Maybe Vanga's upset that it doesn't sound as interesting as Animal or Kabir Singh or something, but I don't know. I'm just guessing. Any which way, Deepika's back in the news because her ex-boyfriend. So, does anybody remember Muzammil Ibrahim? He was this it boy model. He had won this hottest guy or pageant, and he's from Jammu Kashmir. Long time ago. This is 2003. He was making waves because he was extremely good looking. I'm going to actually insert a clip here, kind of talking about how good looking he was.
He checks all the right boxes. Good looks, and even more good looks. हम बात कर रहे हैं haughty model turned actor Muzammil Ibrahim की. 2003 का Glad Rags Manhunt contest जीतकर there was no looking back for him. Ramp shows, modeling campaigns, brand ambassadorship, he was on the top.
So you get the gist of it. He was on my radar. I was a pretty young child while this was happening, but it didn't escape my radar even then. Muzammil Ibrahim, he was a model. He had a few movies, but how he kind of was getting on my feed was that he said, oh, I dated Deepika Padukone. We used to have dates in a rickshaw or something like that. And he was saying how she was not a star then and how he was the big star at the time and that they dated for 2 years. She asked him out and he mentioned that he dumped her. Well, I'm sure he's regretting that decision now. So, when I first saw this and I saw he was talking smack on Deepika, and you know what, teacups, even though it's 2025, that is why we should not, as women, ask out the men. Let them ask. If they want to ask you, they will. Anyways, I was like, why is he even giving this interview? What, Muzammil Ibrahim, who's thinking about him, even though, it's actually not so bad to think about him again and see some of the old pictures. But I digress. I think he's promoting some show, Special Ops season 2 or something. I didn't know that he had kind of come back into movies. And so speaking of his movie career, so there was this movie Doka, and it had Pooja Bhatt as, I think she was in the movie, and she was a director of sorts under Mahesh Bhatt or something like that. And Muzammil also spilled tea on her, saying, Pooja Bhatt was extremely abusive, left him in a depression, would make all these nasty comments. He even said that is why he turned down the role of Raaz 2 when Mahesh Bhatt offered it to him, because he didn't want to have to work near Pooja again. It's interesting because Raaz 2, if you remember, had Emran Hashmi in the role, ended up becoming a semi-hit. The music was really good. Would I have rather have seen Muzammil in it at that time? I don't know, because I was kind of a Emran Hashmi girl when all those movies were coming out, and Raaz 2, kind of iconic. It's my opinion! Speaking of iconic movies, so Muzammil said that he was supposed to play the role of Avi in Yeh Jawani Hai Deewani. And he said that he was in talks with Ayan and he was supposed to play that role Avi that, eventually went to Aditya Roy Kapoor. He thinks casting agents got in the way, and he kind of didn't really say it, but I mean, Aditya Roy Kapoor is an insider, and he made remarks about maybe insider politics got in the way, or he said that maybe it was something to do with how he had a relationship with Deepika before, and now Ranbir Kapoor's in this movie, so maybe he had something. I don't know about it. I mean, who knows? This was obviously a long time ago, but I would not be surprised if there was some sort of inside influence to keep Muzammil's career kind of down, especially as Ranbir Kapoor's star was rising, or these other kind of insider actors were trying to get their foot in Bollywood. And actually, that is the other big piece of tea that Muzammil said, that he thinks he deserved to win for his debut in Dhoka instead of Ranbir Kapoor winning Best Debut for Savaria, which came out the same year, I think. So I don't know. I mean, Savaria was a huge flop, and yet, Ranbir Kapoor won that award. Was it fair? Was Muzammil even given a chance? Or is this kind of Bollywood as usual, pushing the nepos and keeping these talented outsiders down? Actually, side note, Muzammil Ibrahim mentioned that Pooja Bhatt, and this is back in the day, he said that she was trash-talking Moria and John Abraham, both famously exes of Bipasha Basu. Get it, girl.
And that is good looks, and good looks.
But Dino Moria loved him back in the day, and recently I had just seen him again because now he's in Housefull 5 with Akshay Kumar, and I just want to say I saw some news saying that Housefull 5 is already a hit because it reached like 150 crores at the box office in a few days, but the budget was 200 something crore if I'm not mistaken, so not super sure how it's being counted as a hit, or maybe they're just like projecting that it'll be a hit, or maybe the budget number is wrong. Who knows, really? But I don't know who is making this Housefull series a hit. I don't really have an interest in it. You guys let me know if I should watch it. I did see Akshay Kumar like wearing a mask and like pretending to get reviews from people at the theater, and nobody knew it was him. I thought it was actually a really hilarious video. You guys should try to find it if you can. So who knows, maybe Housefull does have a loyal audience, but I did see some clips on TikTok of people saying that Housefull is one of the many like movies or franchises that is basically like a money laundering scheme. But that, teacups, is a topic for another day. Other hot outsiders. So Manushi Chhillar, Miss World 2017, beautiful, right? And she's been having like a stop and go career in Bollywood. She is around, but she's not, cast in a ton of movies or super promoted. She has a movie coming out with Rajkummar Rao, I think July 11th, called Maalik. I think it's like a gangster romance movie. So I asked on Instagram if you guys will be going to the theater to see it. It looks about split as it stands now. I think I actually will go see it because I like Rajkummar Rao. So that's assuming that it will be playing near me in LA and that I can drag my mother to it, because actually there's a bunch of releases, rom-coms happening in July. There's the Shania Vikrant Massey one, there's this movie, there's Param Sundari with Siddharth Malhotra, Janvi Kapoor. I think there's another movie that I'm missing, but I will have to check. So that will be a happy birthday to me because my birthday's in July. So shout out to all the Cancer teacups listening. Back to Manushi. She had put out this long set of posts on Instagram, basically getting mad that people were linking her to elite men. It's kind of a rumor that goes around that like, oh, they have sugar daddies or casting couch, or they're just sleeping with rich men for money. And this is not an uncommon rumor for outsiders. So Manushi hit back and she just said like, it's disgusting, it's misogynistic, I'm self-made. And I've said this before on this show because people were saying this about Tripti Dimri sleeping with like Bhushan Kumar or something like that. It's basically discrediting that these women, or even the men, because Sid Malhotra has gotten this as well, can have any success in Bollywood without kind of being connected. And yes, it does help to be connected. And sure, I actually got a blind about another outsider actress who may or may not be hooking up with someone very connected to get roles, but I don't know if I'm at liberty to say the name. For now, I'll leave that to you guys to wonder who that is. Manushi comes out and she writes this whole thing and she said, is it as simple as women hate that they aren't her and men hate that they can't have her? I mean, maybe Manushi is very beautiful, but sometimes I think that this comes from other insider press. And I know that's my conspiracy, but I'm not backing down from it. I think there are targeted press attacks from insiders and these Nepo actors on these outsiders who they perceive as like a threat or could do better than them or could steal the limelight. Nobody is more upset than me that Veer Pahariya is back in the news, because I'm barely over the PTSD of him, dancing around in that clip that was circulating online. Not over it and still not well. And what do I open my eyes to this week is Tara Sutaria, beautiful Disney princess Tara Sutaria, being linked to Veer Pahariya. For once, I'm praying that it is just a PR relationship and they're both just kind of using each other to maybe stay in the press, or maybe they do have a movie announcement coming soon. That's what I'm hoping. I know Janvi Kapoor is dating Veer Pahariya's brother, Shikhar. And that doesn't make me as sad. And yeah, these Pahariya brothers have a ton of money, so I can see why it's appealing, but I think, Tara, you could do so much better. You can't go from Other Jane to this, and yeah, maybe this is a little bit of a step up. I actually don't know. What do you guys think? Am I being mean? I just think Tara Sutaria, beauty queen, so beloved and popular, but I think she should hold out for someone a little bit hotter. But I don't know. Maybe Veer's very connected, and so maybe it kind of works. Who knows? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And finally, for Teacup Time today, we do not have the full rundown on the fashion polls from Sonam's 40th birthday. I actually didn't get a lot of clear outfit shots anyways. Just know that it was happening. So no fashion polls to speak of, but there was one poll that I did put up because, the fitness trainer to the stars, she has trained Katrina Kaif, she's trained Deepika Padukone. She was giving an interview and she was saying, people come up to me and ask me, how can I get a body like Deepika Padukone or Alia Bhatt. And so this is a little shady, but I did think it was strange that she mentioned people are asking her for Alia Bhatt's fitness tips. And so I posted a poll asking if you guys consider Alia Bhatt to be a fitness inspiration. And it was a unanimous no, which is very rare for the teacups because I did actually expect maybe a couple yeses.
We used to go out at night, he's like, wipe that off, because he loves the natural.
So that was our Shady Boots poll question of the week. And then we have a teacup question asking about the other podcast that I sometimes go on called the Convo Sutra. And you are asking if this is my new podcast. It is not. I just kind of go on. It's about South Asians in America who are in entertainment. And I guess because I do this podcast, I'm considered in entertainment. And so I go on and I just am a guest panelist. So yeah, feel free to subscribe to that podcast on YouTube if you want to see me occasionally, but I do also post the clips on my Instagram account. So no need to worry, Hot Chai Pod is not going anywhere. And with that, teacups, if you like this episode, please press like below, share with your friends, and I'll be back next week with even more chai. Bye!
Listen up, it's jazz.